And welcome, folks. This is episode number 13 of the Dragon Ball Legends podcast. Oh, do we got a show for you today? And we've had a few. We're having a few technical difficulties getting this out. Mostly just that my allergies are killing me, and Blues had to go bake a cake or something. So, but we're back now. Blues has baked the cake. And my allergies seem like they're fine because every 5 minutes I had to go.
Hold on.
Oh no! Live on air. Oh, it's just rough like that out here, man. I thought we had it together, but here we go. Let's see. Let's talk about site news. Episode 13. We got all the stuff going on. So let's see. Let's see what's happening. There's nothing really happening with the saga at the moment because the saga's ended. So, we had the Saiyan invasion, so now we basically have 4 major plots that I'm involved in. There are others. Hey, we got Corvid on. We got the Iona, the Corvid. He's here too, so... But he just turned off his mic, so he's gonna listen in. So, from what I see, post saga, there's basically 4 plots that I want to say that Blues and I are a part of, but there are a few others that are going on. There's Astrid, and I believe.
Astrid's got a pretty big plot going on for Earth right now, where he's kind of going to start doing some Accord bullshit and making people either sign up with him or fuck off.
Yeah, and with you're playing Kanton again too, so I'm wondering what you're going to do with that.
Because Kanton has spent a while out of time. He's just shown back up.
Yeah. So, Blues, you back? Do we got Blues clues? Okay, so. Blues, what's going on? Everything all right? All right.
Yeah.
So I was just talking about and we actually got to do this after the show. Well, first after the show, I'm gonna actually post. I'm gonna post all the damn episodes because one of our new strategies to not be lazy is we can't leave chat until we actually post the episode. So we're gonna get him out because Blues is gonna want to leave after doing this for 3 hours. So yeah, I'm gonna want to leave too. So it's gonna get done. But what we wanted to do is we want to write down all the different mini events that are happening right now, and we'll go through them and we'll just kind of tell the audience who might not be knowing what's going on, because we got to do a better job of explaining to the audience what we're talking about, because, I don't know why somebody would want to go back in time and watch this shit, a year from now, they're like, I wonder what these guys were doing a year, but, it's good to do, it's good to get good at this. So, there's about 5 major plots going on involving our members right now. So you got Dread Island, which I'm going to post later today. It's going to happen. I'm going to post it on the forums. I used to be so good at doing forum posts, man. I got to stop being lazy. I don't want to start getting that reputation as a C-Box RPer because I used to complain about those people. So, Dread Island involves Tetrati and Catagon, and I think that's really going to be... it's going to be a good one. And the more me and Blues were talking about it, we're actually thinking about allowing Tetrati and Catagon to get captured, so it's going to be probably more than one forum post. They get there, they fight, they might get captured, and so now they're in prison for a while, and they're trying to figure out a way to... They're probably going to have to work with the other prisoners to try to break out. And with Catagon, I think the way they might break out is... Catagon, they don't realize that Catagon can use ki. So even though he's captured and they might have some kind of magic devices on him to stop his, Well...
That's the thing. He could be captured, he can eventually escape.
Yeah, and plus Catagon's weakened now, so he's not as strong as he used to be. He actually had to actually...
No, he's not weak.
These are the wardens, so I mean, these are like the
Well, yeah,
guys.
they're stronger than him, but he's not like he's weak.
Yeah, because
They're
these
just stronger than he is.
the wardens that guard Dread Island are almost. They're not as evil as like or nefarious as Tetra and Catagon, but they're very close because not many of the magic users from the guilds want to work on a dreary island in the north. You know, the Northern Ocean. So they're kind of like already a little twisted, and they like the power of being the prison guard warden. So yeah, they're gonna get captured, and we'll. If anybody else wants to join in on that, they can. It's that's why I wanted to write down these, and we can actually post them and see if people are interested in joining. It doesn't just have to be what we already have, because I want to keep them as open as possible for people to join. Because it'd be kind of cool if like Kanton joined or something, or we had some other people. So it'll be interesting. So we have Dread Island. Then we have Moth Violet and Rakutsu looking for the Dragon Balls. Now, there's a whole story behind that.
A little bit late for that. They've all been gathered already.
Yeah, we figured because we could have it in conflict where they meet up with Pan, but what we'll probably do is we'll probably do it like they did it after them. Though that's not. It doesn't really make a lot of sense, but I mean,
it makes more sense than trying to go after him right now when Pan's got him. You might as well just wait. He's got like fucking 5 or 6 of them already.
Yeah, but you're technically supposed to wait a year, and it's like, I mean, Moth Violet's not going to wait a year, so I mean, there's another way we could do it, I guess. It's like I don't know though, because the whole point was the dragon was supposed to tell Moth Violet and reveal the secret. So I don't know. It's because that's the only definite answer that she could trust, because the dragon doesn't lie. So I mean, fuck, I don't know how we're gonna do it. This is what kind of stuff like this kind of frustrates me, but there's nothing I can do about it. I don't know. I might have to think of an alternative way for her to find out. It's probably going to involve like demons. Maybe there's a demon that comes and he can like unlock her memories or some shit, or he says something that triggers it to where she remembers, but it builds up to that. So let's say she gathers a few of the Dragon Balls and she can't find the rest of them, and she's going to run in the Pan, and it's going to be a fight. I mean, it's like she's not going to give up her Dragon Balls, and Pan's not going to give up hers, even though it's more of a selfish wish. And depending on how the battle goes,
Wait, which one's got the selfish wish?
No, Moth Violet, because she wants to find out her secret. But I mean, she's waited so long, so she's just not. She's hell bent on getting them. So we could do that. There's a lot of moving parts in that, because you have Pan's party, you have Moth Violet's party, you have the demons.
She doesn't even have a fucking party, dude. She's just looking for him by herself.
Then Moth Violet and Rakutsu could just jump her for him. I mean, it would be bad.
Try the girls think. I think Pan might be the strongest thing on the site right now.
Yeah, she fucking is.
Yeah, technically,
she's got like
by
70k
stats.
fucking PL.
I wonder how that happened, Blues.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe because she had like 30 fucking C-Box archives.
Well, I mean, that's
the grade.
Across multiple characters that you allowed her to use.
Yeah.
Look, motherfucker, I didn't know she was gonna be RPing. Look, goddamn it, I didn't know she was gonna be RPing fucking Pan, Conut, and Bulla all in the same goddamn room together. All right.
I mean, this was kind of inevitable. This was gonna happen. I just didn't. I got so distracted with everything else.
I don't fucking RP FT and Model A and fucking Catagon in the same room, so it's like I didn't expect anybody to do that.
It's on results for those ones. It's the fact that you let them basically get NPC gains that they've gotten so strong.
Yeah, we gotta.
Well, see. Look, I didn't know Conut was a fucking NPC.
Yeah.
She's been playing Conut. She's been playing Conut like they're a character.
All of us have been playing things like characters. That's why I suddenly dropped a load of them when we started going back to stats.
Yeah. The only thing I could say to resolve this issue is like you gotta make it to the point where like doing forum posts, or are just have a lot more gains than C-Box. Like maybe C-Box gains have to be cut in
They
half.
do. C-Box only has a set amount of gains. It's just the fact that she does all the fucking C-Box all the time.
She's only one that
I'm sorry, 1,000 word threads are worth less than a C-Box roleplay that can take maybe 300 words tops. You need to cut the C-Box gains, my dude.
Yeah, they gotta be cut. I mean, I didn't know it was that bad, that it was like 1,000 words, because, yeah, I mean... unless...
At what point you have to write to match a C-Box, it'd be worth going and looking at whatever grading scale you got and seeing if C-Box lies on the word count and seeing that's fair.
Unless you copied the C-Box words and you put them... and you did a word count for them. You know what I mean? Like, you copy them over into the C-Box summary archives... and then you count up the words, and you could do it like that. So that way, you could do it like that, and it'd be completely fair. Because I mean, a lot of these C-Box posts are only like 100, 200 words. So if you did it like that, it would be completely fair. Because it'd be like they're writing a small forum post. So you could do it like that. It makes a lot of sense because they're not really losing out on anything. So if you do a 3-hour C-Box post. But the other caveat is you can only count the words that are from your character, right? Yeah, it'd have to be that. So it'd be a very tedious thing to do, but it is doable. Or you could just you could do a set amount, and it's just up to you, man. It's just, but something has to be done. That's got to be a priority. To fix, because I mean I could count up all my stuff and I could probably be as strong as Sunpan, but I'm not really in the mood to be doing that, right? I don't care about power level right now. I'm just doing my characters, and so I mean, to me, I would say I think that it would be it depends on Sunpan if she's training a lot and stuff, and what her power... I mean, she's a Super Saiyan, right? So she could probably be...
I guess. I don't know. She doesn't have Super Saiyan.
I don't know what the transformation is going to be yet, until they get it.
Well, she doesn't have a transformation yet. I think Moth Violet could fight her toe-to-toe, and with Merkutsu with her, they could probably overpower her. But I would imagine...
If we're going to put things down, you're talking about someone who can one-shot most of the players. I think I'm the next closest person, and I'm half their PL.
Yeah, it just depends on what we do, because, I mean, Moth Violet's a PRP character right now, so it would have to be fought in C-Box or on the forums PRP, so it would have to...
At which point you're up against someone who has the assurance and confidence they are the strongest fucking thing around going up against you. If you don't respect that, it's going to be a bit of a shit show.
Yeah, well... I mean, but you gotta...
Just let Pan get the Dragon Balls and just have fucking Moth Violet wait. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, I mean, I guess at this point it's just gonna have to be. I mean, it doesn't really have to. It doesn't really matter.
Have Moth Violet be a little bit saltier than she usually is.
I'll just have her search for the Dragon Balls regardless. I mean, I don't know, man. This is fucking. I should have made it more. I'll have her find 2 Dragon Balls or how many are left, and then she can't find the rest, and we'll have a confrontation. And I guess Sunpan can convince her that restoring Earth is more important than her wish, and she'll like Oob and Merkutsu could convince her, but she's not going to be happy about it. But what could happen is eventually one of the demon opponents could come along and jog her memory so we can keep it going. But I don't know, because that was the whole point of structure of the story was around the Dragon Balls. So there's no Dragon Balls. Something else has to happen to motivate them to keep, fighting, So I gotta figure that out. I'm not sure yet. Maybe if they go after Moth Yokai shards or whatever, because I mean we could do that. Because one of the reason she supposedly turned in to Moth Violet was she found a shard of Moth Yokai, but I mean, there's a twist behind that, so that wouldn't even make any sense. So I don't know. I mean, maybe I could work that in there. I'm gonna have to do a lot of creative gymnastics because waiting a year is just not gonna work. Moth Violet in story is not waiting a year for anything. So I can't really go back on that, or it's gonna be weird. So you got that as a second plot, and we'll figure it out. We can work with Pan, figure something out for a confrontation, and we'll just give the Dragon Balls over to her so she can continue her stuff. And the third one is Romulus on planet Sadala. With I got Blue's NPCing one of his characters. One of the surviving Saiyan members there. And the way that's going to be set up is I'm trying to make it work with what they got. So you got the remnant. The fleet is mostly intact. So the fleet gets there, and they can't do any maintenance on the ships because the planet Sadala. The backstory I have for planet Sadala is they did have a civil war, but planet Sadala was not destroyed. But the losing faction, which was basically Vegeta's ancestors, they fled the planet, and they went to Planet Plan or Planet Vegeta. So this happened hundreds of years ago. But what happened was the devastation of the Civil War was so bad that they kind of like regressed back to more like a ancient or medieval era. So when Rom and them arrive and they take over, there's no infrastructure. They don't know how to build anything, so he has to use what he got.
Sorry. Question. Why have they regressed so hard?
Because of the Civil War, basically wrecked the planet. So they had to recover, and whatever technology.
Well, I don't think they regressed. I don't think they just never advanced.
Well, they had to have some kind of advancement in the past because they had spaceships to leave.
I don't mean they didn't have no kind of advancement. It's just not as much as, say, the humans.
Yeah.
So it's like the reason I feel like the reason why Planet Vegeta is so much more advanced than Sadala is because one, the Saiyans kind of like absorbed the Tuffle's technology after they kind of took them over and stuff. So
and they got a lot of tech from the PTO when they were working for them.
Yeah,
so it makes sense.
And Tuffle tech, so it's like, Sadala is like it's primitive, but it's not primitive to where they can't do shit.
So what Rom does is the way I was going to use it is he's going to use his resources. The planet Sadala in our universe, it has weird rock formations, giant plateaus, and so he looks at those and he's like, well, we'll just turn the ships into makeshift bases. So he parks the ships scattered about and he puts he's going to put Raduzu in charge of one sector, and he gets one ship, and so the Saiyans that invade, they basically still live on the ships, but they're just parked out, and they have all the instruments and monitor and communication equipment they need to keep in contact with each other. So it's kind of like it's going to be kind of like a feudal makeshift system where Rom's the warlord, and he has all his his underlings kind of trying to rule over these Sadalans, and it's gonna it's gonna cause problems, but because some of the Sadalans are not gonna go along with it, but some of them are because they're like, Rom's a Super Saiyan, so they think he's like some kind of like God savior, and he's really not, and he's not that charismatic.
To the Super Saiyan God thing,
Yeah, he's not as charismatic as Turles or even King Vegeta, so he doesn't claim to be king. He's just like, I'm just a supreme general, or he's just a warlord. And but what happens over time is a lot of these Saiyans who survive, they're not like the best. They were either the ship's crews or they were ones that just fled. So he doesn't have the best to work with. But what happens is they get into positions of power they really were never supposed to be in. He's like, you got like the ship's engineer, and it's like, you're going to go rule over this sector. So they're like almost like mini kings. So Rom is trying to hold his authority together, and it's becoming harder and harder. So eventually Romulus comes up with the idea of, what's going to happen is they're going to have tournaments. And at first the tournaments were going to be just the Saiyans who had invaded, so the Vegetan Saiyans. But there's a revolt, and all the Sadalans, they're like, no, we want to be in the tournament too. So it forces Rom for them all to be in the tournament. So instead of like a civil war or some kind of resistance struggle, it's just a tournament where like we're going to have these Sadalan heroes who keep fighting in the tournament, and Rom and his Saiyan invaders are like, they're not going to beat us. It's impossible. So it's like it's almost like a rigged tournament. It's like none of them are going to beat us, but we might eventually have a Saiyan that comes along, a Sadalan Saiyan who does beat Rom, and it overturns everything. And so that could be in the far future. And I like it that it's tournament. It's not going to be a resistance. It is a resistance movement, but they're fighting in a tournament. And they're like, we're going to free.
Yeah.
So I like that angle, because I don't want another like resistance, like we're the rebels and we're the Empire or whatever. It's just like, no, we'll do a tournament, and they can still be the rebels. It's like, yeah, we were going to try to free our people, but we'll play along with the tournament. So
yeah.
And then we already we talked about how like one of the Sadalan royal family survived because they what happened was the Galactic Patrolmen rediscovered Sadala, and they stationed one of their guys there to kind of look over everything. So when the Saiyans arrive, it just so happens one of the king's niece she's not really an important royal family member, so they allow her to hang out with the Galactic Patrolman to keep an eye on him and show him around, and she survives because Rom eventually wants all the royal family executed because they're going to be a threat. They're always going to be a threat to his power and the Saiyan invaders who took over. So she survives with the Galactic Patrolman, and they run into Jocko, and I think they're going to go to Earth. I'm not sure yet. We'll keep playing with the plot because it's like, I don't know. We already got a lot of plots running. Maybe we should keep that in space. So I'll keep thinking about that. Maybe instead of Earth heroes, we can have Sadalan and Galactic Patrol heroes fight them and stuff. So and keep it space oriented. So maybe we attract a few members into those plots in space. Maybe we can even offer them to play NPCs if they don't want their characters. So that way we can have something working out that way. If you're cool with that, you just be like, if you want to be in this plot, you can NPC a Galactic Patrolman or a Sadalan, or I guess you can be with the bad guys. If you want to be part of Rom's faction, you can too. So I think if we do NPCs in a limited capacity like that, it could work, and it can allow people to RP more in space without forcing their characters to go into space when they don't want to. So we can make it more flexible like that.
Like straight up being told that if you NPC, you get nothing for it, just maybe not want to NPC for anybody.
No, you'll get the same gains you would for your character. I mean, there has to be some incentive, so that's what we would do.
I mean, that was what we got told when we were switching over to stats again. Our NPCs which is like, oh, fuck it.
Well, I mean, for certain circumstances and stuff, I think that should be bent. Because we I mean, with the people we got, most of the plots are going to be focused on Earth. So to encourage people to RP in space, we might have to allow them to play NPCs, which is fine. You want
them to come into space and do stuff, make it compelling for them to go and do it.
Yeah. I mean, that's also I mean, it's just
no one gave two flying fucks about the Namek invasion.
Yeah. I understand that, but there's certain characters people play, they wouldn't go into space even if you made it compelling. So at least if you give them that option, if you can have people who they do care and go to space, but you can also have other members, NPC people, who they just want to, and I think that's quite fine if we do both. And it's up to Blues though, but I really do think that'd be a really good thing to do, because so we'll figure that out. Third plot, well, what we said Dread Island, we said the Rakutsus, and we said the Romanus plot. So the fourth one is, what's the fourth one? Dread Island, Moth Island and Rakutsu, the Romanus plot in space, Sorora and Oob are doing their thing, and it's going to partially involve Paragus, so that's the fourth plot we have, because they have the recall order, and for whatever reason, I guess Sorora's just not going to go. So it also involves the ESF, because there's two regulators that are still working for the ESF, and it's Dusty Broom, and I'm going to have Mech Maverick have an experimental bodysuit armor, and so they'll go after Sorora, and Oob will have to fight them. So, I mean, eventually it was just going to become an outlaw, I guess, with Soror. So, part of the resistance.
He kind of already is an outlaw, because he basically told Astrid, he's like, you're not going to control me, so.
I mean, it's the same problem with Rakutsu and Moth Violet. I mean, They're not. They're already fugitives because Moth Violet, as Delia, was supposed to be on probation to go back to high school. She's like, no, I'm not. I got to figure this out. And Rikutsu was supposed to go back and live with his grandpa, and he's like, no, I'm not doing it because they're all minors, so they have to technically follow what the law says, but they're not doing it. So their renegades too are going to be not only going to be attacked by demons, they're going to be attacked by ESF regulators looking for them. So I'll probably make NPC regulators for them, or the only really one who's going along with this and is trying to kind of integrate into the ESF is like the Magic Maestro. And he's going to be eventually, I think, a major player as a Saga boss or something in the future. But right now, he wants to create, a second Age of Magic, so he's gonna create a Magic Academy, kind of under the ESF. So instead of like the Magic guilds who are resisting it, he's gonna be like, I got an alternative for you, and I'll be basically the principal of this academy, and I'm gonna hire he wants to hire Catagon. I don't know if that's gonna be possible because he's still like an outlaw. Catagon is, so he might have to work with Astrid to get him some kind of probation or something. It's like if he just works at the academy and doesn't cause problems, can that make? I don't know. It's really gonna depend on Astrid how he feels about it. But Tetra's gonna work there. I have a good face claim for Tetra as a teacher, so it's gonna be interesting because it's it's like do something different. Because I don't really want another version of Catagon trying to take over the world because that's not Magic Maestro's goal. His only goal is to allow magic to be reintegrated into humanity. Not even really Tetra cares that much because she doesn't care so much about allowing commoners to get magic. But that's Magic Maestro's dream because he feels it's not just selfless either because he feels like they're gonna build statues after him and shit after he passes because he's he's the guy who basically the founding father of the Second Age. He really feels like so. That's all he cares about is really his legacy. So those are the four major plots. Now we got a fifth one with Astrid, and that's I really am happy Astrid came back. I don't know if a lot of members feel like I have bad will towards him, but I really don't. We just disputed. I was angry because of him being inactive and trying to. Basically, the staff were overlapping with each other. I talked to Blues about this, where at least on Zeta, what has to happen is the staff have to have titles because you have basically admins trying to do everything that they want to do, and it's going to be overlap and confliction. So there has to be some more organization to it. But as far as Forte coming back, I'm actually really happy about that because it gives us more to work with. So I know Gree isn't happy about it probably, but it's like it is what it is. If he's not happy about it, he should be active and create his own plots. And
curious if he actually posts more, like you said he will.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to put in the work. You can say somebody's horrible, but it doesn't matter if they're RPing and they're building the community. I mean, I'm not gonna just back Gree because he says those things. I'm like, it's all I care about is are you making fun and are we having fun on the site? I mean, activity. That's really the only thing that really matters. We can all be friends or not like each other, but it's at the end of the day, we're supposed to RP and create a world together, so we don't always have to get along. But so all right, and thank you for being there for me. Sorry I haven't been more social. Yeah, we're gonna probably have a new person come on soon. The site because he got kind of booted from Destiny, so we'll probably get Baruto on the site soon. And Zuka talked to me about. I mean, there's some.
Worried about someone because they got booted from another site. That's either fucked over or just that big a twat waffle that they deserved it.
He kind of got fucked over, but it was kind of his own fault too. So it's kind of a mixed. Because I talked to Zuka about it too, because he let me know that Baruto got kicked off for saying bad jokes, and I'm like, I don't really care. It's like, will he make? As long as he comes here and he doesn't say crude jokes that
I mean, we fucking say crude jokes all
But
the
not
time.
not the
Like,
type.
we literally have a fucking
Yeah.
character named after coronavirus.
But not the type of jokes that he was saying. They were a little. I mean, I could see how they could come off as kind of not good. So I mean, it just depends.
Was
I'll
it like
talk.
offensive jokes or what?
I'll talk to you about it more private because it's I'm not throwing like that's. It's even too
Okay.
much to throw out even on the podcast, man. To be honest, so I'll
Okay.
talk to you after about it. See what you
All right.
think, but
Yeah, we can have a little secret, super secret
yeah, it'll be the
Legends Bunker chat.
the Legends Bunker chat. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah,
I mean, as
you know
long
it's
as-
you know
as
it's
long
bad
as
when I
nobody-
can't. Oh, go ahead.
As long as nobody's like a legit power gamer or like just comes on to do any kind of fucking just retarded bullshit, it's like they're welcome on the Legends. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, we got to take what we can get. I mean, I don't really give a shit. Like I don't like. Look, I don't care what you're into.
As long as we don't have any fucking neo-Nazis on our
Yeah.
site, it's fucking fine.
I don't care what they're into as long as they don't push that shit or make it weird or or cause problems on the site. You know, keep that. It's like I like it, the military policy. Don't ask, don't tell. Don't tell us you're a neo-Nazi or you're into some crazy shit, and we won't ask.
Right.
You know,
Right.
just RP, because there are certain red lines that even, you know, I have to put down because we can't have. I mean, there's certain topics that are just too hot even for us. You know, so.
Yeah. Adorable.
No, we're not having stalkers. Fuck no.
If we find out that somebody's fucking trying to stalk somebody, we'll get rid of them like that. Cause it's like we didn't like that shit when Tim was trying to do it to fucking Aussie Yamcha. So it's like, you know, if we find out somebody's trying to stalk somebody else, it's like, yeah, they're getting banned, of course.
Yeah.
You know, it's
that type of shit. Like neo-Nazi or pedophilia, like there's certain things that just cannot be on the site at all.
Right, but it's like we won't know about it unless it's brought to our attention or it's like it's really obvious. You know what I'm saying? It's like if we don't know about it.
Exactly.
Yeah, they tried to look up her IP address and shit. Like it was really fucking weird. Like Forte was there too. He can tell you about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like we were all in a Skype call one time. He was trying to look up her fucking IP address and shit. Yeah, it was weird. I was like, me and Forte, like it was really late night too, and me and Forte were like talking to her, we're like, what the fuck are you doing, Tim? He was drunk as shit.
Fucking Tim.
It was like, yeah.
Yeah, Tim deleted me from Facebook, I guess, because he didn't like my politics. I'm like, I mean, it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
dude?
Tim is that guy. Tim is literally like Republican Trump. Like, isn't he a Trump supporter?
Oh yeah, he definitely is. I think that's why. I think that's why he doesn't get along with his cousin as much, because you never hear Stoner Piccolo talking about him that much. I think
Stoner Piccolo is like the complete fucking opposite.
Yeah.
Stoner Piccolo is the complete opposite, even though they're related. You wouldn't think they were.
I'm open to anybody. Like, I don't care what your politics are. Can we have a decent conversation?
I don't care if you're a Trump supporter. It's just don't try to fucking be like, oh, Trump's the greatest president in the world.
Yeah.
It's like, no, he's fucking not. That's an empirical. That's an empirical fact that he's not.
Bro, the weirdest shit is that Gree went from... Because I used to yell at Gree on Facebook because he would always talk about this libertarian bullshit. And I'm like, I get it. I agree with you on individual rights with libertarian, but on economics, it's just... It doesn't make any sense. You want to privatize everything. It's like...
See, libertarians are basically just diet Republicans. You know,
libertarians are like tax evaders with extra steps. It's like they literally care more about
tax evaders with extra steps, and it's like they're diet Republicans because they have a lot of the same policies Republicans do. It's just they don't want to be labeled Republican because then if they are, then they'll be like, "Oh yeah, I'm not a white nationalist." It's like you might just be.
The libertarian problem is they care more about their own self-interest than like the overall society, and that's my problem with them. Like, we're in a good, just society. You're supposed to have a civic duty not only to the country. It's not you don't have to be in the military to care about your country, but you're supposed to like care about the fellow citizens. So if there's a problem, of course, with the government because they mismanage the taxes in our current form of the American Republic. It's very corrupt right now, but in an ideal society, the tax money would be taken and used to benefit the overall society, and make sure like people aren't like starving or they don't have a place to live.
You know, schools, public housing, that type of shit.
So
it's like,
taxes aren't a bad thing.
It's supposed to be used for, I don't mind taxes. It's just taxes if they're too fucking high. Like if I don't like.
Well, the taxes aren't supposed to.
That's like, I'm not the type of person that's like, when I talk about taxes, it's like I'm talking about the taxes they put on you, like on your paycheck and shit. It's like housing, like property taxes and shit. Of course, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you have to pay property taxes, but like taxes on your paycheck and shit, it's like they're taking about like hundreds of dollars out of your paycheck. The
big problem is they're taxing the middle class and the lower classes, and like the wealthy are really getting away with like paying almost no taxes sometimes, and it's loopholes. It's just a sign of the times.
I think one year Amazon paid like over, little less than like 100 in taxes.
My biggest argument against libertarians, I do agree with them on individual rights. Like, basically, it's a basic, simple shit. It's not even really a libertarian idea, but you can basically do whatever you want as long as you don't harm other people or infringe on their rights. Like, if you want... I mean...
That's just common sense. That doesn't even have to be like a libertarian...
Yeah, there's certain things...
Common sense to me.
Like, I honestly think if you don't want to wear a seatbelt, you don't have to. But if you crash and you injure yourself, it's on you.
It's your fucking fault. Yeah.
It's on you because you didn't wear a seatbelt. But I don't think people should be forced to wear a seatbelt. Now, I don't know if people should be able to walk around naked in public. Like, there's certain limitations to even libertarian individualism.
That brings straight harm to people because some people are so fugly it hurts to look at them.
Yeah. So there's certain limitations even to that. But I think people, if they want to do drugs and shit, I mean, I don't really care. It's like, they'll make legal versions of it that are safer anyways.
If you injure somebody else in your vehicle when you crash because you didn't have a belt on, that's your responsibility as well. It's like, I'm not gonna, you're not supposed to blame somebody else.
They just killed a motherfucker because they didn't play safety. That's not just their responsibility anymore. They've become a murderer because they didn't bother to go click with a fucking seatbelt.
Yeah. I mean,
it's the same thing as somebody like driving drunk and killing somebody. It's like you made the decision to fucking drive drunk, so it's like you have to face the consequences of killing somebody.
Yeah, of course.
You might as well
I'm not gonna
fuck up so that doesn't happen.
What?
That's a very 1 second thing you can do to prevent that ever happening, which makes sure everyone belts up in the car. Suddenly, this murder situation doesn't happen.
Exactly.
Are you saying that not wearing a seatbelt could affect your driving, right? Is that what you're saying? Because it's not like you're drinking and driving.
Shut up!
Huh?
I'm saying is, if there's multiple people in the car, someone who hasn't buckled up would kill another passenger.
Oh, yeah, I guess you're right about. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, because they're flying around in the car, is what you're saying. Oh, okay.
That's actually why they enforced the belting up rule. Yeah, it's your life in your hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People here,
no, I do agree. I agree that people should wear their seatbelts. It's just I wear my seatbelt all the time.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm just so used to wearing my seatbelt that I tell everybody else to wear their seatbelt, and if they're not, then it's like, oh, put your fucking seatbelt on. And I don't want to fucking die. 2, it's like cops stop me if I don't have my fucking seatbelt on. So I just don't want to fucking deal with the cops to begin with. So I put my fucking seatbelt on. So
I never really thought of that.
It can be a choice if you don't want to put your seatbelt on, but I think people should wear their fucking seatbelt. It's like they're there for a fucking reason.
You get in my car and you don't put a seatbelt on, you're walking, mate. That's your choice.
Yeah,
it's like they're there for a reason. I think school buses should have seatbelts. It's like I think it's fucked up that over here in America, school buses don't have seatbelts. It's like that's kind of fucky.
Thinking of
how people care about the people around them.
Yeah, thinking about I guess if you're in a car with multiple people, and one of them's not wearing their seatbelt, and you crash, that guy could fly around and kill other people. I guess that. I guess that makes sense.
It's a safety hazard. It's like the seatbelts are there for a reason, and I do agree that people should wear their seatbelt. It's a simple thing. It's a simple thing.
Yeah. I think people try to make the argument. It's like, oh, you're making me wear my seatbelt. This is against my freedom. This is taking away my freedom. It's like, no, it's not taking away your fucking freedom. I can see both sides. Maybe there can be a compromise. If you're in a car and you're by yourself. But that's overcomplicating the law because it would be confusing because it's like
it is hilarious. It is hilarious because nobody's trying to take away your fucking rights by making you wear a seatbelt.
Yeah, that's true. I can see both sides.
Nobody's trying to take away your rights by making you wear a mask.
Yeah, well, I mean that's just. I mean it's annoying, but yeah, I get why you would want to wear it because
it's just annoying because we're not used to wearing masks in public. That's why it's annoying and weird and uncommon. And,
my biggest argument against libertarianism, as far as like taxes and economics, is like, I mean, George Washington was against libertarians. Like literally after the Revolutionary War,
the Rebellion.
The America was in debt, and we had to pay the bills, and it's like the Whiskey Rebellion. They didn't want to pay taxes. They're like the first libertarians in America. And George Washington, as president, went up with an army. And they didn't want to mess with George Washington because of his reputation, so they stopped, Yeah. So, I mean, you can't say you're patriotic when, like, our greatest founding father was against libertarians.
Krillin, they want to fucking privatize everything. They want to put the whole goddamn country into the hands of the corporations, and it's not like America isn't already largely in the hands of corporations already. So, but they just want to make it. They can't even explain how. Yeah, they can't even explain how you would do that. Because how the hell are you going to privatize every road? It's so idiotic. There's a reason public works work. You want Amazon to start building all the fucking roads in LA?
Yeah, and it's like public works have worked. You can look back at the Roman Empire with their roads and shit. Like, it doesn't make any sense to privatize everything. Like, there are certain public works that make sense. It's in the common interest of everybody living there to have a fucking nice road. I'm not even saying that public schools are perfect, but they make sense.
They're not. They just need the public schools need a reform too. Yeah. Everything in America is fucking kind of backwards. Like, as the richest country in the fucking world, and we're kind of fucking backward.
Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense.
Like, compared to a lot of other countries in the first world, we're backwards.
But what I was getting at is, like, Green went from libertarian and now he's like communist, and I'm like, whoa, like, can you at least like bridge the gap a little and go in the middle? Like, I'm democratic socialist and libertarian on individual rights, but you want to go straight to fucking communism.
Communism and socialism are such
it's a spectrum
fucking term. Yeah, they're fucking such taboo terms over here in America.
If you're like Britain and the Netherlands are more democratic socialist than America because they have more there's more of a balance between the private and public sectors, basically. Democratic socialism isn't like, it's not communism. You got to look at it on a spectrum of
right. Like see, like I was saying, it's like communism is such a buzzword. It's such a fucking taboo.
They say anything is communist. They said Obama was a communist and he was like Republican light. Like, what are you talking about? He didn't even give us.
It's like they want this. Communist is such a fucking buzzword now. They just call and they've been doing that since like at least the 50s. They've been doing that here in America since the 50s.
Well, with the
McCarthy and shit.
Well, with the Red Scare, they broke up. They tried to.
Red Scare, McCarthy.
They used communism as an excuse to try to crack down on the unions. And that's why in America we don't have any representation.
Like anything that's remotely leftist or liberal is automatically labeled as communism.
Yeah, exactly. There are merits to capitalism and there are merits to socialism, and it's really, you got to have a hybrid of both that seems to work the best right now. Because I don't know.
It's just more ethical capitalism, pretty much.
It's like, pretty much, it's regulated capitalism, basically. And
regulated capitalism.
The problem, the flaw of that system is that the wealthy will always try to bribe and tear it down, but there's
for their own self-interest.
So it's always a constant fight, and of course, wealthy people, they have all the resources in the world to constantly try to undermine a system that would benefit more of the people. But I mean, that's the best system we got right now.
Yeah, people with power don't want to give it up. Yeah.
I mean, it's the best system. I mean,
and
it seems like
power for a long ass time.
Yeah.
They're definitely not gonna fucking give it up.
Yeah, I mean,
like you got powerful ass families here in America, like the Bush family, the Clintons, the Rockefellers, the fucking
The Waltons.
Who else you got?
Waltons.
Bezos, he's gonna have kids one of these days. Look at all the celebrity kids. You know, all of these rappers and all of these singers having fucking kids and shit. It's like they're creating dynasties, man.
Yeah, capitalism.
American dynasties.
Capitalism, when it's unhinged and unregulated, it tends to destroy itself. And it, like, people are wondering.
It's not the celebrity culture, Corbett. It's just the fact that these rich ass people are having kids all at the same time. You know what I'm saying? They're creating a fucking dynasty.
Yeah.
They're all having kids at the same time. They're all growing up around each other. Like, look at Will Smith's kids, Kanye's kids. Fucking all the Kardashians is having kids.
One of my radical ideas that I have is, like, because I realize, like, a lot of people don't understand, like, if you like reach 100, if you become a millionaire, you can almost buy anything within reason. And once you start to get into the billions of dollars, the only thing you can do with that extra money is to buy power and to basically screw with the laws through lobbying to maintain and try to keep more and hoard more of your money. So at some point, I think at some point they
Koch brothers.
Yeah, at some point I wouldn't mind if you reached $1 billion, it would tax you at 90% after that. Like, it wouldn't, and like, there's people I work with, or at least to work with on the boats, who thought that's egregious. But I'm like, you have $1 billion. Like we're taxing you 99% when you're only making $6K a year. Now the weakness of even that, because that's more democratic socialist, the weakness is you have to have a government that's accountable and actually invest the money wisely.
Right.
Because if you don't, then they're going to say, well, they're wasting the money anyway, so why can't I keep it? You know, so it's
like they're taxing me 90%. Where's all that money going but to rich white people?
But I always roll my eyes at right-wingers who are like, well, charity. It's like, charity is like almost like an ego trip where, I'm sure.
Where's charity money going? Where's charity money going?
Yeah, like.
All of these pennies the people that donated to Africa, and Africa's still fucked up.
Yeah, exactly. Like, charity it doesn't uplift people. Like, you want to uplift people, give them the means to actually uplift themselves. Stop feeling sorry for people and just giving them handouts like that. Like, if you give them the resource to uplift themselves, that's a lot better than charity, I would say. Though charity's not bad either, but that shouldn't be like the main part of society, is people who just feel like it, so. But we definitely went on a tangent there. I'm going to have to put that in the notes of the script that we talked about. Hold on. We need a person to do this for us. I'm just going to put I'll remember it. Libertarianism to communism, and what else did we just talked about, like seatbelts and other libertarian versus socialism ideas. So I'll put that in the notes or whatever for the summary. I'm glad we just say that shit on air. Like, we're not professional at all. Like, who cares?
But you know what? If there was going to be some kind of American revolution, how do you think it's going to go?
I think it's going to be a shit show of insurgents.
A second American revolution.
It's going to be nothing. It's going to be nothing like the normal Civil War. It's going to be like insurgents and shit, and you're going to have different factions. And a lot of people don't consider the fact that, people think this is going to be an isolated thing where Americans are just going to fight Americans. No, you're going to have like the European Union supporting the side, or the communist Chinese supporting the side. It's not going to be fun. It's going to be, and you're going to have the Russians. And the Russians might want to sow more discord, so they're gonna use psyops and propaganda, and it's not gonna be what people think it is. You really don't want to have a civil war in your backyard, where you wake up one day and the post office just got shelled by an artillery strike or a drone strike or something. It's not. A lot of these.
Do you think it's gonna be like North versus South, or do you think?
No, it's probably gonna be on
military versus the people.
It's going to have the military,
the government versus the people.
It's going to be a lot of different.
Do you think everybody in the military would side with the government?
It It's gonna be
think so.
There's gonna be a lot of different competing, like rich versus poor, right versus left. You're gonna have the military versus anti-military. It's gonna be a shit show. There's no it's just not, there's not like a strong leadership and shit. It's just gonna be very fractious. I'd imagine you would even have a few states even thinking about seceding from it. You know, so it's not gonna be good. You know, and there's a lot of...
Yeah, we have been set up into poor versus poor.
Yeah, I mean, this whole right versus
Especially
left thing
in
is
America.
ridiculous at this point. Like, you know, both the Republican and the Democratic Party are both corrupt. So it's like, well, if we had more Democrats, it's like, no. I mean, you know what they did to Bernie Sanders. The only guy who actually wanted to reform the system, they screwed him over twice. And the Republicans, I mean, at this point, I mean, they're not. It's obvious that most Republicans are serving the rich. I mean, it's just everybody knows that, and they.
I mean, most Republicans are the rich.
Yeah, and then they support racism and shit too, because we only have two parties. We don't have like a Nazi party or some shit to where they can be a part of. So they definitely play to the racist sentiments and stuff too. But it is what it is. I don't. Yeah, a civil war is going to be very messy, and it's not. I don't know. I don't know how it'd go. A lot of Republicans think that because they own guns and they're good with them, they think that they're going to just take over. It's like,
yeah, they think they're going to be the fucking.
But they're outnumbered, and it doesn't. No, they're outnumbered by a lot more of the population, and it's like it's easy to train people to shoot guns. There's child soldiers in Africa. It only takes like
just give people a gun.
Yeah.
And show them how to use it.
Yeah.
And they'll be off. It's
easy to
learn how to use a gun.
So the Southern idea and this right-wing idea that those people are going to be superior with guns, it's the same stupid fallacy they had in the Civil War, where yes, the Confederates could shoot better, but that didn't mean they won because they were outnumbered and they were they couldn't. I mean, the North just had so many advantages in the numbers and supplies and industry. It just didn't matter. Sure that you could shoot.
The only thing the South had up until a point was like better military structure and command. Up until fucking Ulysses Grant and like General Sherman came up in this motherfucker. Yeah. The goddamn South was winning. But once the North came in, they had so many more advantages and so much better military strategy that the South was never going to stand a chance. The South never stood a fucking chance.
Yeah, it's the thing. It's like, I mean, it doesn't matter. Like that, if you have one advantage, it's like, well, our guys are country boys that can shoot better. I mean, that might work in a certain situations, but it doesn't matter.
Shoot at what better? Deer?
Well, supposedly the average Southern soldier could shoot better than a Union soldier. It kind of makes sense because a lot of them were from the cities and stuff, so they didn't have as much.
Well, I guess.
Single shot weapon. When you've got an automatic spray that just peppers an entire area with bullets, I don't think aim matters a whole lot.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things, anyways. I mean, it's the same thing with the Germans and the Eastern Front. They had better equipment, but the Russians could produce them, and the Russians could produce, and they had a lot more material. So it didn't really matter in the grand scheme of things that certain Panzer tanks were better quality. They were just too, it was just. And and the other thing is that Russian equipment kept getting better as the years went on too. So the advantage was definitely, taken out too. So we lost blues, but yeah. So wow, we really went on a tangent that time, but I do like those tangents because I like to talk more than just the site. So we're nerds. We know all about a lot more than just animes. So there you go. So let's see. Let's go back into what's going on the site before we get too deep into the woods. So we
Saga news.
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on in the saga? The saga is complete. What's next?
Yeah, we already talked about all that. We talked about the 5 mini events going on. Forum news. Well, that's over. So I mean, I don't want. You already know my opinion about the Garlic Jr. event in the saga. I think that should have been taken out, and the Castrals as well.
We're gonna finish that. We'll finish that.
You're still doing the Garlic Jr. event? I didn't even know that. Oh, I thought all the shit was over with.
Nah, we're gonna wait on Gohan, and I might make that a different.
Yeah.
Shipping
news
mine, but we were gonna see if Gohan was gonna post on it.
So shipping news.
He is.
Oh, that's some good shipping. Blues, you did damn good for the script, man. I'm really proud of you. You really pulled through. That's what I like about you, Blues. Me and you work really well together for whatever reason. It's really hard to find people in the community that work really good together. So, I'm
do a good job.
Shipping news, Contown and Bola. Yeah, that could be a good thing. I don't know if Vegeta would like that a cat guy is dating his daughter, but I mean that's just because he's Vegeta. He wouldn't like anybody dating.
Get over it. Yeah, he'll have to get over it.
He wouldn't like really anybody dating his daughter. So it is what it is. That'll be an interesting ship if they end up getting together.
Mm-hmm.
Astrid and Miharu. Is it Miharu? Miharu. Okay.
Yeah.
I always fuck up that name. Yeah. So it was Miharu Fuck. Miharu. Is Miharu gonna be like the Queen of Earth now? Are we going that road?
I don't know.
You're gonna have a ESF sniper girl as Queen of Earth.
Sniper girl as his right hand woman.
Yeah, she's just out on the lawn shooting shit.
It's like how Katagon has fucking Xanthi. He's gonna have Miharu as like the concubine of Earth.
Yeah. Katagon and Xanthi. I mean, that's just obvious. We all know that, Blues. You love Heather, so. But I still think Spanish Gohan is mad because he wants Heather all to himself.
He's got her other characters.
Yeah, you guys worked out worked out a deal where you guys equally get to share Heather. To be an anime girl in this community, man, you can just take over a site. All the staff and members just fall for them. It's just crazy. Where does that leave me?
You just better be glad she ain't stats in that.
Who's Who's Xanthi? Yeah, you guys would give her stats. You guys would give her stats and shit. You'd be stat pigs instead of pay pigs. You could just be stat pigs. Stat simps. Oh my god. I would be infuriated if you guys did that. I'm like, you fucking simps.
But hey, you know what? Xanthi deserves to be simped for. She's pretty cool.
Oh my god.
She's nice.
What am I hearing? Blues,
she's nice to you.
She is nice to me. That's why I'm okay. she likes to poke fun at me, but I mean, I can't really.
Everybody does.
I can't really complain because I don't do it as
of every joke on the site.
I don't do it as much, but I used to fuck with people a lot back in the day, so it kind of makes sense. A little bit of banter never hurt anybody. Well, it does hurt.
Getting in OC matchups.
Moth Violet versus Xanthi. I think Moth Violet would. Well, I don't know because Xanthi's pretty fucking strong too, so that'd be a good match. It'd be a good match.
I'm gonna put that in the chat.
Is she there now?
No, I'm gonna just put it there so people can see.
I think Moth Violet could hold her own with Xanthi. I don't see her fighting a lot, so that's my thing. Is like I think Moth Violet fights a lot, so she's getting a lot of experience. So, especially when she gets older and she's like in her 20s, she's gonna be a really good fighter.
See, if you look at Xanthi's backstory, apparently she used to be an assassin. So.
Oh really? I don't get to see a lot of those assassin skills displayed.
She used to work here. She used to work as an assassin. So.
I see.
We can see Xanthi's assassin ninjutsu versus Moth Violet's.
Moth Violet is learning a lot from Mr. Hayase.
I feel like Xanthi has more tricks up her sleeve, but Moth Violet would be better in a straight up fight. Okay. Yeah. Okay, fair assessment. Yeah. All my money on Xanthi.
Yeah, of course.
Corbin's gonna go for that.
Yeah. You put Stoner Piccolo versus Romanus. Well, Piccolo Piccolo's a lot more experienced as a fighter and as a main cannon, so I mean it would.
I have zero faith in Rom.
Nah, Rom is a battle-hardened Saiyan warrior. Yeah. Whatever. You know, I'm one of the best fighters on the site. I've always been a fighting-oriented RPer, so pretty decent.
Pan versus Sorora.
Pan versus Sorora. Well, I mean, Sorora is a lot more.
You never beat Corvid in a C-box battle?
Oh, whatever.
I think he's calling you out, Rom.
Well, we'll have a battle eventually with some characters, and we'll see how you do. I got straight correct and beat you in shape.
We gotta add it up.
Whatever.
Okay, Moth Violet versus Corvid-19.
I mean, that would be Corvid has a lot of armor, but I think I could beat. I could beat her. It'd be a hell of a fight.
Okay, who do you want to use, Moth Violet or Rominus?
Rominus could beat Corvid-19. I mean, he's just a fucking Super Saiyan. I mean, unless Corvid has a lot more. Whatever.
Okay, that's the match.
I don't see.
Rominus versus Corvid.
I have zero. I mean, I think Rominus is gonna wreck Corvid-19. Now, Pan versus Sorora.
That's got to be the one fucking fight. On the forum that we need to do. That's the one fucking forum fight. Rominus versus Corvid-19.
From what I know of the operators, they're very well armored, and they seem to be able to memorize people's battle they're fighting. So if Rom won, I think that the Corvid could come back and could learn all his moves and then be able to beat him. I think that is possibly true, but I think Rom could definitely beat him.
You're gonna have to make a poster for Rominus versus Corvid-19.
Yeah.
It's gonna be the primetime special.
As far as Pan versus Sorora, I think Sorora has a lot more battle experience, but Pan might. It depends if is Pan a Super Saiyan or not. That's the question. You know, if Pan's a Super Saiyan, then Sorora has a strong, base power level because of the wish. But she's not a Super Saiyan yet. She was starting to learn it, but she wasn't able to fully learn it by the time she got to Earth. So she's basically.
We need to do stats. We need to do stats. Yes.
I mean,
that's the only way we'll be able to determine who wins.
Does anybody even know how to fight with the stat systems?
Yes. I do. Because I make it.
Yeah, we might be able to do that. I might eventually go stats with at least a few of my characters. I can't do them all. It's just too many.
No, I don't think Tetradia should be stats. Moth Violet, I don't think she should be stats. Well, I don't know. All right, Moth Violet and Rominus can probably be.
It'd make a lot of sense for Moth Violet because she would start off with a little bit of stats and she would be able to work her way up.
Yeah, most magic users probably shouldn't be stats. Yeah, I agree.
The Tetradia is not a bad fighter. It's just she can't. She's not physically strong enough to really fight a prolonged battle. That's the thing. Right. If it's a prolonged battle,
Tetradia really relies more on her magic, though. So therefore, she should be more pure RP instead of being stats, where it wouldn't really make any sense for her to have 10,000 power level.
I mean, she could learn a strength spell, but the problem is she would use a strength spell, and she's not really good at hand-to-hand. So she could use a strength spell, but if they counter that,
she's not good at hand-to-hand. So why the fuck would she use strength?
She does use speed spells with her rapier blade, and she could try to tear somebody apart because she used to do fencing in high school.
That's a sword, though. That's a sword.
But that's about it. So
stats with Rominus.
If Sorora had the same power as Pan, I think because she's a battle-hardened Saiyan who's been trained by not only Raditz but Bardock.
She got a power boost. I think wish on Namek too.
I think she's a lot tougher than Pan, so I think she could beat her, honestly. You know, Earth Saiyans are just, they're not, I mean, Goku's an exception, but a lot of the Earth Saiyans are soft, and they're not soldiers. You know, there's a difference. So, I'm sorry. I'm always gonna...
Just gives them an advantage.
It does in Grit, and their ability to want to go in for...
Mechanical, repetitive way. Non-soldiers do things chaotically, which means soldiers can't prepare for the chaos.
Yeah, it just depends, especially on individual combat. But I do think if Soror had the same power as Pan, I think Soror would have an advantage in Grit and battle experience. Pan might know more advanced moves, so.
She like started her fight down.
So if Pan had more advanced moves and she could outsmart Soror, I think she might be able to win. So I will give her that. The Earth fighters have a lot more advanced moves in the fact they can sense power levels, but I had to give Soror that so that way she could sense Oob. So that was more of a plot thing because I don't remember if I gave Soror. I know Raditz could key sense because they already started to figure that out. I mean, it's not like the PTO and the Saiyans are just never going to figure out key sensing when that's been a huge disadvantage for them for decades. So they started to figure it out, but not all of them are learning it. You know, it's still kind of hard to learn, I guess. So I try to, you know, I don't try. It's not like oh they all know it now. It's like no, it's not like that. So let's see. Out as character ranners and banners. Oh, we could really go into this one, even beyond. Let me see. Let's go to the notes. So what did we talk about besides what was on the script, Blues? Because we kind of went into some deep shit. Let's see. We talked about that. There's nothing else to write down, really. Just make sure we save this script so that way I can write the summary after it. Let's see. Staff overhauls on DB Legends and what it means for future of the site. I mean, I'll just tell what I told Blues. I think the problem was with the staff is that nobody had titles or job descriptions, so everybody just did what they wanted. You know, it's going to have to be like more of a military structure where you have a person overall in charge at the top, and people are going to have jobs, and you know that specific jobs that they do. They can have multiple jobs, but it's like this is what you do. This is you. So that way there's no overlap between, you know, mods and staff, because it's too chaotic. That's the problem with staff, and that's exactly what I'm going to do on Zeta. Like specific admins are going to have specific jobs. You know, if you're going to be a game master and GM and stuff, then that's part of your title. But there's certain people I wouldn't want as GMs because they probably would suck at it. So it's like, no, you're good at grading, so that's what you do. But even though grading's going to be automated on the site anyways, at least on Zeta, so it's not a big deal. Yeah, I mean, my opinions on what happened is well, first of all, I'm just happy I resigned when I did, honestly. I mean, Zuka knew what was going on, and I kind of knew what was going on, and I didn't like the direction, so it was a good move on my part. You know, I think Forte got over being demoted or fired or whatever. Ace doesn't even care because he's never around anyways. He's just making pizzas and shit. So
what the fuck did happen with that?
With what? As far as the firing and everything? Well, basically everybody was, I mean, during the saga, the problem was we didn't plan the saga like we should have. So when it was starting to stall out on the forums, I'm like, no, I kind of was like, I saw all the other staff members.
No, not that. The Forte thing. He's losing his status or whatever the fuck happened.
Oh.
Well, basically, I felt like he wasn't being as active as I wanted him to be as far as like the saga was going and stuff, and he wasn't as, you know, helping out like he should have. You know, he made some missions. You know, he was able to organize everybody, but it's like me and Rom were pretty much the only ones managing the site, pretty much. You know, yeah. I'm doing all the grading and stuff like that. And so I talked to him about it, and you know, he was pissed off about it. at first.
I'll be right back.
Because he was like, Greed put me up to it. But I was like, nah. You know, Greed did come to me and tell me some stuff about it. Like, some stuff that happened a while back. But it was like, yeah, that was fucking some auxiliary bullshit that he told me. I told Forte, I was like, you know, that Greed didn't put me up to it. Rom didn't put me up to it. I was like, this is how I feel. And, you know, he understood it, and, you know, he's fine with it. I told him he might be reinstated somewhere down the line, too, if I really need him back. So, you know, I was going to fire everybody anyway. It's just so happened that fucking Rom resigned before I could fire him. It's not that I just fired Forte out of nowhere. I was going to fire everybody. I mean, yeah, you got me.
Alright, I'm back. So what happened, Blues? He said...
No, I was just explaining what happened with me firing everybody. Tell him how I was going to fire you, too, but you just resigned like a fucking Richard Nixon.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, there was really no point. I couldn't do my job anyway, so I was like, you know, fuck it. And that was the best move I made, so I'm happy with it.
It's a member now.
And then once I get Zeta up, I'll be head staff of that one anyways, the sister site. And speaking of that, I know you'll be able to transfer stats back and forth because these two universes are going to be in the same multiverse, so it'll be pretty cool. I like the way that's going, though. The stats will have to be converted over to make sense with a different time, you know, because of course this one's kind of in the future. You know, Zeta's going to be like right around the defeat of King Piccolo. So it's going to be, you know, more Dragon Ball oriented, even though I've planned it all the way out to the end to where, like, you know, you could fight the gods or become one or join the Titans because of that plot. So I already planned it out from beginning to end. And this plot can go on for years. Basically, the game ends if you either become king of the Titans or defeat them and restore the old gods or whatever. So, you know, it just depends on how that goes. But I leave it open for that because I mean, what if a villain, you know, is the one who defeats, you know, or joins the Titans and becomes king or whatever? So I mean, it could go that way too. So it just depends. I think it'll probably be a villain. It's always the villains who seem like they get a lot of power. They always end up being neutral, and they're not good, but they're not evil. It's going to be like a Hakusai or what was that guy from Arena who was with Bell? I can't remember. But
who the fuck cares? What does it matter? You are seriously caught up on the past some days, man.
See what? I need to turn up my volume.
Y'all are just caught up on the past far too much, Ron.
On the past? Like, what do you mean by screw up on the past?
Like, your ass is still holding grudges from 10 years ago.
I'm not holding any grudges. I mean, that's one of the reasons Blues had me as a staff member. I don't really hold any grudges anymore. I don't.
Every chance you get, you bring up old shit.
I do because it's funny to me. It's not really out of you know, grudges. I mean, I don't even remember half the stuff. Like, some people bring up shit and I don't even remember it. It's so long ago, and, you know, alcohol doesn't help with memory, so, you know, it's like, I don't remember half the stuff I even did. But, no, I don't hold any grudges against anybody, really, anymore. It's just, I don't know. I mean, we've had our differences, but, I mean, as long as things are smoothed over now, I don't really have a problem with it. So, as far as the GM and that whole shit, I still think I was justified in killing one of the characters off, though I wish Blues was there because we could have resolved it, but since he wasn't, it just...
Dungeons & Dragons will tell you that is mistake 101 as a GM.
I mean, but the GM can kill off, you know, a party or party members if they're not doing what they're supposed to.
Not like that. Like, if you've got a system in place, they're not there.
Yeah.
You leave them. Unless the whole party wipes out, anyone who's absent is left out of shit, because that's just unfair on the player to punish them for being unable to attend due to real life.
Yeah, but they said they were going to be there. So I mean, I had thought about just knocking them out, but I mean I did knock one of them out. I was like, I wasn't going to kill both of them, but it just was a shit show.
Focus on people who are there, not been bitching at the people who weren't.
Yeah, it was just a shit show, because then it's like, I think Forte should have waited till it was over and he could say, well, you shouldn't have done that. And it's like, well, I mean, I still think it's like, if you're, the real problem was it was in the middle of the battle, too. If they weren't in the midst of battle, it probably, I wouldn't have killed them, or at least one of them.
That's what it called for. It called for, look, people aren't here. We're gonna have to hold this until the next day. We'll get everyone so that they weren't available today.
Well, I mean, that was a problem. That was a problem too.
Characters.
Well, that was a problem too. Is it was taking too long to do the C-Box events. Like this shouldn't have took that long to advance the saga. I mean, it was already dying on the forum. So the fact that it took so long to organize it was it was ridiculous. But yeah, tensions were high with everybody at that point, and you know, yeah, I guess maybe from now on, if I'm ever GM, instead of killing them off, I mean that's a really rare thing, and it's not something I would usually do, but I guess I could knock them out, but it's just like, and the thing.
Just continue like they weren't there. If they can't make it, they can't make it. You shouldn't do anything to their character while they're absent, unless the entire group is wiped out. Their character is a grey blob in the background doing absolutely fuck all.
Yeah, I mean,
I make jokes about them standing just behind and just off to the right.
I think I mean, it just depends on the circumstances to me. Ultimately, that was just a really shitty situation to begin with, because it's like they said they're going to be there. We're in the middle of battle, and I got two people who are ready to RP.
They've gone in. They said they couldn't make it that day. They were the one person who said they couldn't make it on that day. And
no, Ace had told me he was going to be there, and he said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I can't be there." I'm like, "Dude, you said you were going to be there." And then
stop and go. Okay, fair the fuck enough.
I think Kakasau was Kakasau there. I think he didn't want to do it because Ace wasn't there. But see, so we could have done it if Kakasau was there. You know, I think
that's fine. That was the whole thing of, look, they didn't want to do it without the full team there because it was they were making on the card of Kira being, you know, the godchild to handle things. You're gonna have to hold up and let them do that thing.
Yeah.
I know everyone wants things along, but that's where you start doing like things that, after all, you said that all the events were happening at the same time. You could have happily just gone, right, who's here? We're running this thing around these people and what's going on with them while this shit's on hold.
Yeah.
And get them off. But that's a stop, think, schedule. Shit happens, you have to be able to flex around it. Just going, fuck it, I'm gonna kill the character and carry on, is okay, fuck you guys having a chance, the villains are now gonna win because your trump card is dead.
Yeah. Well,
that's the logic chain everyone's gonna go down. Like, what the hell are you doing at that point?
see, I didn't know if he was doing it intentionally too, because me and Ace were having issues, so if any other circumstance, I wouldn't have killed Kira and knocking out somebody's not that big of a deal. But the fact that he said he was going to be there, he's like, oh, don't worry, I'm going to be there, and then he doesn't show up. I'm like,
around him with 4 extra hours he didn't cancel. So his work shift originally was there to make it, and then life hit him in the face.
Well, you didn't explain that to me, because I was in constant contact with him the whole time. And then
I know about that then at the time, and you didn't.
And well, no, I was in constant contact with him, and he said he was gonna be there, and he's like, "Oh, sorry, I can't make it." I'm like, "Dude, I got like people ready to go." And so my only logical thought was, well, I'm in battle with these two people, so I can knock one of them out, and I can kill one of them. You know, and I had to explain and warn people that could happen. So
yeah, logically, you show a bit of respect for their character, and including the fact that they're fighting with you.
Yeah, but the thing,
you fucking finish. Including the fact that they're fighting with you, you use it as a thing for players to work around. That there's someone else going toe to toe with you, so they can then fight around the NPC version of Kira, who is causing you trouble, as she was priorly in the fight you planned. That way, they still got their ace in the hole. You've still got respect for the player's character and the strength they've shown so far, and you haven't just turned around and gone, do you know what, no, fuck this, I'm going to take one of you out of the fight in a snap and change the dynamic of the fight.
Yeah, there might have been other ways to do it. I mean, that was the only thing I could really come up with on the fly. So, I'm not the most experienced GM, but like, it just was a stressful situation.
When you pull the chat box, everyone's sitting in people go like, look guys, Kira's just failed because of real life shit. What do you want to do?
Yeah.
That's the next move. When something happens, you bring it to the party. They go, we'll carry on without her. You know, she'll get called away. I'll have to go deal with the tree. And we'll keep fighting. And you go, right, fuck it. That's what you do. Roll with it like that. Making a decision for the party can completely fuck them over. And I honestly, again, you said there was some stuff going on with you at the time, and it's also your character was the one involved. So it felt like a very personal thing. You didn't want Ron to lose, and you were going to push someone out of the fight to make sure you won. But it could have looked really fucking shitty on you for doing it that way around.
I mean, Rom wasn't really going to win, but I mean, Kira was supposed to defeat Rom. It just didn't happen like that, really. Because after, you know, nobody really knows about this but Blues, but after that whole thing, and we actually did the fight, me and Ace weren't talking, and I was like, you know, we needed it to be more like a saga battle, and what happened was Kira was so pissed off, you know, and he kept absorbing from the tree, which I was going to tell him at the time, that you can't keep absorbing it because it's like, you're just taking everything. But at the time, we weren't in contact, and I'm not really trying to fight another battle over and argue, so I'm just like, I was rolling with it, but eventually I just did what Blues told me to do, I just blew up the fucking tree. And then that took care of that, so... but then it got even worse and jumbled.
The whole absorbing from the tree thing as well as a constant of play for a couple of weeks during the Saga events, because from the setup I'd put him from, his entire magical source came from the Tree of Might from his timeline. Having another one there was just like, woo, candy!
Yeah.
Just take him out of play so he doesn't just turn the tree into a fucking bomb and take everyone out.
My favorite fights was Rikutsu versus Corsa, and you know, with Moth Violet. That was one of my favorite. It was the best paced one. Things kind of broke down after that with Rom versus. I kind of liked the idea that it was going to be Rikutsu and Pan to defeat Rom, but it just kind of broke down, and I mean, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't as good as it was. Kind of a disappointment to me, but it's fine. I'm just happy we got the saga done, because there was many points that could have just fallen apart, and that would have been really bad for the site. So, yeah, it's just one of those things. So, what are you doing, Blues? You're supposed to be
quietly typing away.
Yeah, it's supposed to be part of. You're supposed to be part of the conversation.
I'm listening.
Oh, okay. Well, let's see what else we got.
Go ahead.
Painful arc.
I thought the West City battle was pretty good. I thought stage 2 and 3 were pretty good.
Yeah, they got a lot smoothed over once, you know, the Tree of Might was taken care of. So, Rikutsu and Moth Violet get their genders flipped. So painful RP scenarios. Oh God. So basically their genders get switched. So you have Rikutsu as a girl, which would basically just be Rikutsu as a girl. His personality wouldn't change at all.
That's how that should be, you know. I hate to say this, but it's one of the reasons I actually really was quite happy when Brand came out and liked how I characterized Ellery. Which I turned around and said, yeah, I made the character first and then flipped the coin for the gender.
Yeah. Moth Violet would be... I don't know how Moth Violet would be, because he might... I mean, as a guy, Moth Violet might be a little bit more assertive or something. It really just depends. I don't know. It wouldn't really change him that much.
Switching the gender now, is this like always just changing now? If it's just changed now, their personality wouldn't change. They just have a bit of a different.
Yeah.
So the more of the hijinks would be them dealing with altered hormones or the extra bits or missing bits.
Yeah.
The personality is changing. The personality should remain consistent because that's who they are.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Not deciding they like just because they're female. That's a bit of an odd thing to happen to someone.
Yeah, I wouldn't really change them that much. It would just be like the comical of them being different genders, really. So, and then it would really suck if Moth Violet is a guy and he's still transformed and he's still wearing the same outfit.
The more comical version is actually swapping body.
Yeah, something like that.
An anime where the magical girl is a guy.
Yeah.
Funny as fuck. He ends up in this little pretty dress with a chainsaw.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's that zombie one. I remember that shit. I saw parts of it. That's pretty good.
He just doesn't like being seen in public because it's a bit random that he's only donned a skirt. Like, good.
Yeah, Moth Violet as a guy, the only thing is well, I mean, it wouldn't matter because he the male version of Moth Violet had been a girl all the time. It just would be weird because he's wearing a skirt and he looks like a dude, so it'd be...
It's weird, it she seems to physically change when she switches from Moth Violet to whatever her name was.
Yeah.
The guy version of him turn into a female Moth Violet.
Yeah, it would just be the same. Yeah, it'd be really confusing, but it'd be funny.
Like the Uber version of Launch's sneeze, you go from male to female each time you do it.
Yeah, that'd be kind of interesting. That'd be an interesting take on that. Yeah, but that wouldn't really be a painful scenario. It'd just be more funny. You know, a painful scenario would be like, let's see, let me come up with one. It'd be like if Oob was to date, like if Oob and Sunpan switched bodies or something. That'd be a painful scenario. Because nobody really want it, and it's happening, and it's like now you gotta play Oob as Sunpan. And knowing Oob, he wouldn't even really care. He'd be like, "Oh, this is fun. Can I still fly the Flying Nimbus?" It'd be Pan that would not be happy with it, probably more.
Like, am I still strong?
Yeah, am I still strong? Can I still fight? I mean, because Oob is you made him kind of like a Goku kind of type character who really wouldn't care that much. Let's see.
If it's off his margin powers, stolen Oob powers.
Yeah.
He'd lose all of that shit.
Yeah, he would be a lot weaker, Blue, so you might be mad about that. And Pan would be a lot stronger.
No, Oob would be physically a lot stronger being Pan. He would lose all his weird tricks that he got from being Majin Buu in the last life.
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't have the Buu powers anymore right now because he defused with Buu.
He had some of them anyway back in the day.
Huh?
He had some of them anyway.
Reincarnation of Buu.
Well, he hasn't. Well, see, the Oob I'm playing, he hasn't, like... The only reason he had the chocolate demon turn Moth Violet into chocolate one time is because he was fusing Buu. Like, he doesn't... Like, when he defuses with Buu, he hasn't unlocked his potential yet. He doesn't know how to control the Majin Buu powers or anything like this.
God damn. I think I might have the coronavirus. I got a fever. That's not good. Ugh. I don't know what's wrong with me. Been feeling weird since I woke up. Not good. Not good. Let's see, what else do we got? I mean, yeah, we'll do better with painful scenarios next episode. We needed more painful scenarios.
Pan's actually there, you can just throw the fucking scenario now.
Pan's back! Dick Falcon's the one that left.
Pan just popped in.
Yeah, Pan is back.
Pan, the scenario about the,
Oh yeah, Pan. This is a painful scenario we got. Basically, Oob and Pan switch bodies. How would you feel about that? You could be Oob.
my vote is kill themselves.
Yeah. No, I'd be Pan. No, you gotta be you're Pan stuck in Oob's body. So there you go. And probably you'd see Pan cry as Oob, so you'd be hilarious. Because she would be so mad. Oob would be like, so I'm still Pan. Yeah. It's a body swap. You know, a body swap scenario. Yeah, Pan would be distressed. And Oob would just be Oob. He's like, well, this isn't all so bad. He'd be like, well, I can still train and stuff. So Oob would be, he wouldn't be as distressed as Pan would be about it. Gohan would be a little bit mad about it. He'd be like, what did you guys do? Let's see, go to DBZ talk. I need some more coffee, man.
Okay, we're talking about, you know, DBZ stuff, right?
Yeah.
The fuck makes you think the Salad Saiyans are gonna be weak, dude?
Uh-oh. There we go.
Oh, it's just because they're this.
They Cuervo for this one.
It's just
because the Super Saiyan is going to take on the guys that had the Super Saiyan God ritual.
Yeah, well, it's just we're just going by that they don't have the same training regiments, and they're not really been at war a lot since then. They're kind of more peaceful, so.
Against the ancient Saiyans, who they had to go to war with and unlock Super Saiyan against.
Yeah, but they don't remember all that stuff, so they just have the folk tales.
They've just been resurrected. The last one that was alive is the Super Saiyan God Bunch. Fought the ancient version of the Saiyans, who were stronger than the current crop.
Yeah, but for this to work, for the plot to work, it's just they're basically been blown back to like an ancient age to make this work right.
From the ancient age, where they were stronger than most of the shit in this universe.
Yeah, I know, I realize that, but we're trying to make it work for plot. We're not trying to, you know.
We're talking height of Saiyan power. If anything, Manas could show up and be like, "Show me your ways so I can become stronger like you and come back with a vengeance." This is Romanus' training arc. He goes and seeks out the ancient Saiyans, becomes a true Saiyan once more.
That's not his art.
And comes back twice as strong.
That's not his art.
Yeah, that'd actually be pretty interesting too. But yeah, it's just not the way we set up everything. So, I mean, but the thing is, I do realize like the Sadala Saiyans have the same potential as the regular Saiyans. It's just that they're not as battle hardened, and they just haven't fought and trained.
These were the Saiyans at the height of their power. These were the Saiyans that were the strongest of the Saiyans. They are battle hardened as fuck because they've been on a civil war with the evil Saiyans the entire time. You know, the ones that descended into the current Saiyans.
Well, that was hundreds of years ago, so that civil war is long past.
It's the ones that have been brought back. They have, for their point of view, died, blinked, and gotten back up. Probably spent some time realizing they were in the afterlife. And what did they have all the Z-Fires encoded in the afterlife? They got stronger. You're talking going in against a bunch of Saiyans who canonically should be trashing the fuck out of you.
Yeah, I mean, well, let's see. So Planet Sadala would have got revived along with Planet Vegeta, right?
Blues. Do your thing. I'm just going to sit there and go, dude, you're kind of on some Saiyan count that leaves an opening for a lot of cool shit to come out. Instead, you're going to take it over and make it Romland.
No, it's not going to be Romland. It's not really going to be that. I mean,
Rom's in charge of this planet Salad.
It's going to be an interesting scenario because you have, their bases up on the, they park their ships up on these plateaus, and Rom has taken over, as warlord, but it's not even going to last like that because with the tournament thing, the Saiyans are, the invader Saiyans are thinking, they have no chance of like even beating them, in the tournament, but eventually, these ancient Saiyans, they're able to train and they're able to, turn it over. So, I mean, that's just the way it's going right now. I mean, I could have done it different ways, but the way I had it is like, they're living in kind of an ancient time. The world's recovering, and they're like, some of them are farmers, some of them are traders. They're not all, like, they're not Spartan-minded like the Saiyans that just came from Planet Vegeta. They're more like, there are warriors, but they're not anywhere near as strong, and I just need that setting for this to work. Now, it's not going to stay like that, but I don't feel like really revising and redoing everything right now, so that's just kind of what we're rolling with.
I'm going to shut my mouth, because I could say some seriously harsh things about that, but...
this is the best thing we could come up with with what we got, so... I'm sure I could have come up with something better, but we're just going to assume that, these Saiyans, the Sadala Saiyans, they just kind of regressed a little bit, and,
How about we just say, instead of, I offer a compromise here.
What the fuck's a compromise? God.
I'll extend an olive branch.
What is olive?
How about instead of Sadala, we use Planet Daikon?
They already went to Planet Sadala, so why don't we just use that? Eventually, they can overthrow them and redeem themselves.
I'm just offering a fucking compromise. Because either way, I'll use fucking Sadala. I don't give a shit.
Let's just use Sadala, because we already... I mean, we'd have to retcon a whole bunch of shit. It's just gonna have to work how that works for now. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Because, I mean... Who gives a fuck? I mean, honestly. I mean, we could argue all day about the specifics, but just for this plot to work... Yeah, I'm more about plot. It's like, I'd rather have a plot that works than go into details about ancient Saiyans and aliens and shit, and just like, you know, it's just like, I get it, but just for this plot, let's do it like this. It doesn't have to make complete sense if it's a good story. A good starting story. And, we'll just go from there.
Planet nuts.
But, what else do we got? Oh, we're going to talk about DBZ talk. Alright. You know, I'm not as excited to always talk about DBZ talk, and I should be. I'm supposed to be like a super fan of DBZ, but I mean, I actually like more about what we do.
What are we going to do with the fucking the Galactic Patrol? What do you want to do with the Galactic Patrol?
They're just going to be the opposition to the Stellar Saiyans once Ram kind of sets it up, because he's going to have to raid some worlds, and in my mind, Sadala is a lot closer to, you know, Galactic Patrol space than it is to the PTO, so they're going to be natural enemies. Mm-hmm. And so I like that because it's different. Instead of the same bullshit where, you know, the PTO fight the Saiyans, it's going to be the Saiyans versus the Galactic Patrolmen, and what they do is they eventually create an elite version of them that can match them toe-to-toe. You know, they start training, you know, basically they create more of a military force to supplement the patrolmen who are more... I mean, the patrolmen have never really been able to match up with the Saiyans or the PTO, you know, on a large scale or on really any scale. I mean, I've heard that there are powerful ones, but they're just not numerous enough to really do anything. So I think that's what I'll do. I don't have any more specifics about the plot, but I kind of have an idea of who the opposition are. There's going to be Siladan rebels, and you're going to have the Galactic Patrolmen who kind of try to stop them and thwart them in space, and it's a good setup. You know, you got the Galactic Patrolmen who can be heroes, and, you know, there's going to be Sadalan Saiyans who don't like the Stellar Saiyan regime, which is going to be the name of it that they give themselves. They're not just going to call themselves the Turles faction forever. Though they are going to rename the capital Turles City, so that's what Turles gets, you know, for being the first king. They'll name the capital after him, so I like that. That'll work for now. Fuck, I could go for another coffee, man. I don't know why I have so little energy today. I feel like shit. Can't even properly argue with Kanton. So, it's like... Alright. So, what do you think, Blues? Is that a good... I mean, what do you think of the setting? I mean, Kanton kind of doesn't like it, but what do you think of the concept? Of the whole Sadalan, you know, the Stellar Saiyans, you know, right...
plot, because the Stellar Saiyan plot is going to lead into the Saiyan Civil War, like the real Civil War.
Oh, there's going to be another Civil War with it,
like the real one, because it's like, you know, you still have the Paragus faction.
Yeah.
You got the Stellar Saiyan faction, and we are going to eventually do something with Planet Daikon, because I don't want to just, you know, not do anything with that planet. It's going to be.
I loved making Planet Daikon. That was such a unique. I even made a map for it, man. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, so we're gonna do something with Planet Daikon. But
what do you exactly want to do with Daikon, though? Like,
I guess that could be like the Saiyan world that Ram like retires to or some shit. If you don't want to kill off Ram, it's like I guess he could like go to Planet Daikon and retire and fucking live with Corsair or some shit.
I don't know.
Like that'll be the one Saiyan planet that's like no conflict.
I just figured that
Planet Vegeta will have the Paragus faction, and then you'll have the Turles faction that's going to kind of be run by Radazu and Rom.
I just figured they're just going to stay on Sadala, so I mean, maybe Daikon could be like some kind of base or waypoint or something that they need.
Yeah.
We can make Daikon somewhat important. Like maybe it's a faster route. Like maybe it's a shortcut, but you have to go through Daikon to get there, because it's a long trip. I mean, that's one of the problems for like Paragus too. Is it's so far away. Like it's not an easy journey to. Yeah, it's on the other side of the galaxy, so it's not good for the Stellar Saiyans. That's why they're not going to focus on the PTO or even Paragus' faction, because they're so far away. It's like, I mean, they're just kind of out there, you know. It's like they care more about like their immediate enemies, which are the Galactic Patrolmen. Oh, we lost Corvid. He left. Oh boy. Oh no. What are we gonna do now? I don't know, dude. I feel like shit right now. I don't know what's going on. Oh, it's okay. I just gotta get myself motivated. Slap it in my face. Drink some more coffee. You'll be good.
I'm in C-Box.
No, we can't. We can't do C-Box yet because we gotta get the episodes at least ready to go out. What are you doing? What are you doing in C-Box right now?
I'm not doing shit right now.
Alright, so we're going to do the DBZ talk, and we're going to wrap this one up, folks. Sorry if this one wasn't the best. It's good because we actually had a decent script, but the next episode script's going to be even better because we're going to come in the general chat, and we're going to make the script, on Tuesday. And it's going to be we're going to have a lot more normie news and all sorts of fun stuff, We'll figure it out. I'm sure during the conversation we'll figure out some topics too. So, let's see, DBZ talk. Erasing DBS from Canada, just like we did with GT. Let's see. Like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of Dragon Ball Super, so that doesn't bother me at all. I think what they should have done is they should have ended it at the Majin Buu saga, and they should have time skipped 15, 20 years, and then what happens is Bola is looking for the Dragon Ball with Sunpan. You could even have it like that. Have two interesting female characters. Sunpan and Bola, they're both like, young teenagers or mid-teenagers, and they're going around looking for the Dragon Balls, and you start all over, and it's kind of cool because you have a Bulma character who can fight, and you also got a female type like Goku. That's kind of cool, that's a lot more interesting than Dragon Ball Super. Doesn't even have to be that flashy. It could be like Dragon Ball setting, I would have taken that over Super. So that's why I'm not the best to talk about Dragon Ball Z because there's certain parts of it I don't really interest me anymore. I don't really care. Supposedly the Moro saga is pretty good. It's like at this point they're Super Saiyan gods. It's like just stop. Where are you gonna go from there? Ultra Instinct. There's nothing. Well, they're gonna come. What is it gonna be? Ultra Instinct 2 and 3? It's just ridiculous at this point. So.
Mastered Ultra Instinct.
Oh God. Yeah.
Ultra Instinct Super Saiyan. I'll look that up. Ultra Instinct Super Saiyan.
It's just ridiculous.
Ultra Instinct Super Saiyan 4.
Oh my God.
Look at this. Super Saiyan Ultra Instinct 4. Look at this.
What the fuck is that? What am I looking at?
Super Saiyan Ultra Instinct, man.
That looks like it could be a fan-made shit. I'm done. I'm done, dude. I'm a big DBZ fan. I like Dragon Ball Z. Super is just ridiculous. It was a... What the hell is that supposed to be? Super Saiyan 2? Ultra Instinct? Oh my God. That looks like something from Remember back in the day when there was Dragon Ball,
Super Saiyan 5, man.
Dragon Ball AF. That literally looks like something from Dragon Ball AF, dude.
Super Saiyan 5.
The only reason, bro. Let me just be honest, bro. The only reason I play RP Dragon Ball Z so much is because I know it so well. It just makes a foundation to create an RP site. Really, at this point.
Super Saiyan 5.
What the fuck, dude?
Look at that. Yes, that's the original Super Saiyan 5.
Yeah, that's Dragon Ball AF for sure. No, man, it's just like... The only reason I think I even RP Dragon Ball Z so much is because I know the people in the community, and also it just makes a good foundation for an RP site, because they're all just super powered. But I mean, at this point, if we were to just create an anime site that just made our own world and shit, and you could have DBZ characters, but you would also have magic and shit, we could even do that at this point. I mean, Zeta is probably going to be the last DBZ site I make. After that, it's just going to be an anime site where all these different animes, and I can actually create my own continents and worlds.
Super Saiyan 100.
No way that's Super Saiyan 100.
Oh, look at this. That's Super Saiyan 100.
Oh my god. All they did was color in the fur and shit black. Oh my god. This is depressing the shit out of me. Let's see. Using non-canon DBZ plots and characters for other shit. Non-canon DBZ. Yeah, well, we do that all the time. Like, there's some good shit from Dragon Ball Heroes, at least the face claims. We use GT,
Look at
that. I'm not even commenting on that one. That one's just... That looks like a 5-year-old made that. A talented 5-year-old made that. Oh my god, that's so sad.
look.
What in God's name is that? It looks like an angry, drunken redhead Goku. He looks like he's about to hit his wife. It's like, you didn't make me dinner! It'd be some dumb shit like that. Oh my god, dude. Alright, folks. You know what? We're wrapping this up.
Look at
No. Oh, we still got more. Are we doing any normie news?
We can do some normie news real quick.
What's going on in the news, Blues? What's going on? Oh, Beirut exploded, so that's one thing, I guess. Never seen an explosion like that, but I don't know how much I want to get into that. I think I've already talked.
All right, CNN 4 hours ago, Trump thinks he's been given vast new powers. Now he's going to use them.
What the fuck does that even mean?
New York Times, coronavirus, live updates, latest news and analysis.
I'm gonna go to Fox News while you do that. Let's get that hot Fox News.
You go to Fox News. I go to CNN.
Yeah. Get these hot Fox News takes. White House reveals how much average worker will save thanks to Trump's payroll tax. How about you give people money since they're out of work and stuff? Tax payroll. People can't pay their fucking rent. Like, what are you even talking about? Like there's states where 50% of the people are going to get evicted. And you're talking about fucking tax payroll. Like, this, dude, we're living in dystopian times. It's like, hey, 50% of people are going to be kicked out of their apartments, but we got a tax payroll. It's like, what is that going to do for them? There's people out of work, and they can't work. And, they gave us, that $1,200 paycheck once, and they're, like, debating it in the Senate, and, if they should give it to us again, because they say it's going to discourage work. And I'm like, people aren't even working. Like, what do you mean it's going to discourage work? Like, people who have jobs are going to actually still want to keep their jobs. So it's just ridiculous. I don't even know what to say to that, man. Fox News pisses me off. Let's see. What else?
CNN. The good news is that President Donald Trump is aiming to help Americans hurt by the coronavirus pandemic, signing executive actions to extend expanded unemployment benefits and assist renters and homeowners. The bad news is that he's seizing new powers for the presidency to do it.
Of course.
Executive actions.
Well, to be fair, Obama did nothing to check the power of the presidency before he left. So it's not all Trump's fault. They basically allowed him to do all this crazy shit. Let's see what else is new. No, I don't want to talk about Cam Newton. Not big in the sports. Thousands of Christians attend riots to revival in Portland hours before a riot. How they're trying to change the narrative. Oh, whoa, that's cool. Let's see. I actually just go to my Twitter. Twitter has better news than Fox News does, because I follow a lot of cool people. Let's see what Chris Hedges has to say. Disobedience is a true foundation of liberty. The obedient must be slaves. I agree with that. Damn it, Chris Hedges, you're always on point.
Alright, if you want to end the podcast, we can, and we can still be chatting if you want to. I'm going to go in C-Box.
Yep, we're ending it here, folks. So I hope you enjoyed it. This is episode 13. Next week, we'll have even a better show because we'll have a way better script. So I hope you enjoyed. You got informed about what's going on the sites. You got Dragon Ball Legends right now, and the sister site Dragon Ball Zeta will be set up pretty soon. Probably in a few months. So look forward to that. Alright, we're out.